Blessings, everyone. This is Prophetess Lefaye Jefferson coming to you with my talk with Lefaye. If this is your first time tuning in, watching, or listening to this episode, I want to just welcome you. Welcome to my podcast and welcome to my YouTube channel. So, on tonight and on this episode, you guys, I'm going to be doing something a little bit differently. Yes, this is going to be a wisdom teaching, but the Lord is leading me to just do something a little bit different. This time, this would be more of just a talk with Lefaye. Like literally, this would be a conversation with you guys. Yes, the spiritual side is there, but I'm led to do something differently. I'm led to just give out knowledge because sometimes we don't need to be preached to. Sometimes we don't need to just read the word. Sometimes we don't need to fast. Sometimes we don't need to pray. Sometimes we just need knowledge and understanding and wisdom. Sometimes we just need to be spiritual and listen. You know, we just need to listen. Listen to ourselves. Listen to how we feel. Listen to what's going on around us. Sometimes it's something within that we have to do. It's something from within that is required from each and every one of us. And my friend, today, what is required is trust. The Lord gave me the title, and I had to really think because, like I said, He just leading me to do things differently this time. This time it's just a conversation, not just a teaching, not just being spiritual, a conversation, a personal conversation with me. And He gave me the question, do you trust yourself? Do you believe in yourself? Do you feel that you're good enough? Do you feel like you are enough? Period. Do you trust yourself? Think of it this way. A couple of years ago, after I finished my first degree, I then started going to paralegal school. And while going to paralegal school, I was working full time, going to school part time. After work, I'd go sit in a 3-hour class. And it wasn't easy studying the law, different areas of law. It wasn't easy, it was hard work, but I did it. I studied, I put the time in, I did it. But when it got close to the exam at the end of the semester, I began to get nervous. I began to get nervous because I know my weakness. I know I never really been a good test taker. I can make straight A's on the schoolwork and projects, but when it came to those tests, I wasn't that great. So when it came close to taking the test, and I talked to my professor because he's seen that. You want to know what he told me? He looked at me with those blue eyes and he told me, trust yourself. And that stood in my mind when he said that. That stood in my mind because I was like, trust yourself. But that's what he said. He said to trust yourself. And I was like, okay. And I did just that. And I passed that exam and got my paralegal certificate before I started working on my next degree I was working on at the time. And that short story is so relevant now because if you think about it, we all are in a position where we are more than capable of doing what we need to do. We know what we need to know. We've done the work. We've been through the process. We survived the tests and trials. We've done everything we need to do. But yet, it's that part of us, or it's that part of you, you struggle to trust yourself. It's that part of you that's struggling. Or it's that part of you that's a little bit shaky. It's a part of you that just still feel uneasy. It's that negative part of you, or it's that voice that you keep hearing that's telling you you're not enough, you're not good enough, you don't know enough, you don't look pretty enough, you don't have enough. But in spite of what you are hearing, feeling, facing, I want you to know on tonight that you are enough and you need to trust yourself. Listen, we don't need to be perfect. We don't need to be always 135%. 100%, yes. Yes. But could it be that some of us are trying to be a perfectionist? We're overdoing. Because some people say, well, I want 110. I want 100%. No, no, nigga, no. Listen, 100, yes, yes. But all this over stuff, mm-mm. And I used to be a big person that struggled with that, overdoing stuff, overthinking, overstriving. And you know what it did? It caused me to have some over problems. That's what it caused. It didn't do no good. Overworking myself. For real. So just know you can trust yourself. Oh, I'm telling you, trust yourself. Because when that professor said what he said to me, that made me think. Like, I didn't think about it like that. I don't trust myself. As long as I've been in school, as long as I have worked and went to school, as long as I have worked hard, as long as I've done this stuff, yet I was struggling. Maybe because of my weakness, I was struggling. But then that's what made me realize, okay, I need to trust myself. What part of me, now here's a question. What part of me is looking for something wrong? Or what is looking for something wrong? What part of me is seeing, what part of me, or what is causing me to not see myself the way I should see myself? What part of me is causing me to not perform up to the potential or up to the standard that I know I can perform? What is it? Is it fear? Is it people's opinions? Is it that struggle in your flesh? Is it you not really accepting who you really are? You not knowing who you are? Like, what is it? Is it past mistakes and failures? Is it something that you did? What's causing you to stumble? Excuse me. It's like you're creating your own stumbling block. But what's causing you to create that stumbling block? Does that make sense? Because something is there. Or do you just think it's just a human mind? But what caused it? And I'm just asking questions to get you to think. Like, where did you get that thought process from? Where? Or who told you everything that's in your head, the things that play in your head like a broken record over and over and over? Did somebody tell you that? Did you hear it from somewhere? And this is very good to really think about, because some people have really been through some things. Some people have been abused, verbally abused. I am a person that has been verbally abused. Some people have been damaged. Like, other people don't even realize how traumatized a person is. That person has really been damaged because, just, yeah. And that trauma, or that part, I'm gonna say it that way, that part, whatever is keeping you from trusting yourself, that part is making them paralyzed. Is making you paralyzed and crippled to the point that you can't do what you know you should do, move on, change, whatever it is. It got you paralyzed, mental paralyzed, spiritual paralyzed. But just know it's time, you guys, to trust yourself. Trust yourself. Trust what's already in you. Trust the natural and spiritual, what's already in you, what God has put in you, what you know. We got to be confident in what you know and what you have. Don't compare and contrast. And I know that this goes over a lot of people's head. Don't compare and contrast yourself with somebody else. You looking at what somebody else got, you're looking at what somebody else doing. That's them. That's how they do stuff. Somebody or the world, there is an audience that want to know, what do you have to offer? They want to hear you. It's just like with singing. I remember singing for some producers, and I was singing, they was able to hear my voice, voice. But this producer has been on Bobby Jones gospel and everything. He was very experienced. But one thing he said to me, he was like, "You're singing, but it's not you. You've been watching a lot of music videos, you've been listening to other people sing or this and that, and I could tell it's you, but it's like a mixture of you and somebody else. It's not your pure authentic voice. Excuse me. It's not your pure authentic self." And he also told me I sound better higher, which I get that a lot. I sound better singing soprano than alto, but anyway, and I was like, wow, because I was watching music videos, but it's like, if you pick an artist, Mary, you listening to their video, I'm walking, and you're singing and watching the video. So I was like, wow, but maybe what he was saying, the issue was not watching the videos. The issue was I was trying to mimic them to the point I'm trying to be them and I'm not being me. And a lot of times you can hear that or you can see that. Like, I did not believe or trust what I had inside. And yes, I have a different voice. I grew up in a very diverse place and listened to very diverse music. And I do believe it does have a little spice on my voice, but I have been criticized too. In music school and growing up, I've been criticized. So I think at the time, that's what made me start trying to sound like somebody else instead of just being me and ignoring the stuff I've heard, the stuff I've been told. And yes, people gonna realize, oh, you sound this way, you sound that way, you sing this way, you sing that way. Yes, some stuff they gonna realize, but I have had people came at me to the point. And this happened, you guys, a couple of years ago when I was studying music and singing and doing concerts and all that jazz. But I'm just making that point just to show you how I didn't know how to trust myself. I didn't trust myself at that time. I gave you a story where I did trust myself, and I gave you a story when I didn't trust myself. And there was nothing wrong with me. There is nothing wrong. But because of the negativity, the criticism, the opinions, that stopped me from seeing what was really in me and watering and paying attention and nurturing what was in me to develop it and make it grow. And I know a lot of people can relate to that, not necessarily in a school sense, but relate to how you have been in a situation where you have not trusted yourself, trusted what was already in you. I don't care if it's a seed form. It's a seed form. Listen, that's how everything starts out. That's how everything starts out. Everything starts out in the seed or in the baby. That's how every fruit, every plant, a lot of stuff starts out in the seed form. And it has to grow and it has to develop. And I think people forget that. They forget that, you know? And if you are in the seed form, it's okay. Or if you are in a sprout form, that seed went from a sprout, that's okay. If you a small tree with a few green leaves, that's fine. But whatever state you are in, whatever level you are in, you have to trust yourself. that you are able to go to the next level with what you have. You are able to do the next thing with what you have. You are able to do something new, something greater with what you have already inside of you. It's already there. Everything you are going through right now in life, everything that is happening in every area of your life, good or bad and ugly, is all preparing you, or I'm going to speak, has prepared, is moving you where you're supposed to be going, what you're supposed to be doing. Like, some of you guys are more ready than you realize. Like, you are good to go, ready, set, go. You know, ready, set, go. You're ready. You're more ready than you realize. And don't let time make you feel like you're not ready. You overthinking. Don't let time, the waiting, you know, make you feel like, oh, I missed something. I missed the spot. Well, I just want to double check. I just want to triple check. No, no more checks. You don't need to check nothing else. It's it's good. If you have an appointment, it could be any appointment, spiritual appointment, doctor's appointment, whatever appointment, right? And you're waiting on that appointment. You're waiting, right? But say if you're waiting and things take longer than expected. Because say if the appointment was supposed to happen at 2:30 and it's 3 o'clock, then it's 3:30, then it's 3:45, and someone comes out and lets you know, we sorry for the delay, but there's been some things we had to do. Thank you for your patience. We will be with you shortly. Do you want to reschedule? You say no, you'll wait because you're not able to reschedule. You just choose to wait, or you may not have no choice but to wait. But your appointment don't come until 4:30. That's a long time. That's 2 hours. If you were supposed to meet at 2:30 and it don't happen till 4:30, but that waiting, that period right there can make you nervous, can make you feel like, oh, I man, something must have happened, this and that and that. You'll start getting worked up when you're in the right place at the right time. It's just been a little delay, but that don't mean it's not gonna happen, and it doesn't mean you're not ready. And it just means you have to trust that everything gonna work out the way it should, and B, you trust yourself. But sometimes time, waiting, delays, that can make you not trust, because you would have felt like, well, it would have happened by now. What did I do wrong? You'll start looking for something wrong. It don't mean that something is always wrong because something has not happened yet. Something might have taken place, but it doesn't mean it's something wrong if you've done something wrong. Like, things don't always happen because we've done something wrong. if that makes sense. It's been delayed, and if it's been delayed for a reason. But you guys, it's time to trust yourself. Trust yourself. You got what it takes. You're more than capable. You're more than ready. You look good. You are good. You are enough for whatever is getting ready to come your way. Whatever it is, if it's a job, if it's another position, if it's marriage, if it's friendship, if it's a career change, whatever it is, you're ready. And don't allow your weakness, don't allow what you do not know to hold yourself back. Because let me tell you something. I have, okay, I'm going to just stay in my lane, and you can, always apply it to how it relates to you. But I have seen people that have podcasts, preach, teach online. I have seen them mess up. Um, I have seen them error. Sometimes it may have been a little funny. Sometimes it was. It was like, oh wow, I feel kind of sorry for them. And some of these people have been on large platforms. Some of these people, are very well known. And I have seen them stutter. I have seen them trip. I have seen some things. I've seen the streaming going wrong. I have seen some things. So that kind of helped me see that if sooner or later God would elevate me to be in a different platform or do something differently, then, I have to believe I'm capable of doing it, even in spite of my weakness. Everybody got a weakness. Everybody got a weakness. Ain't no person that know how to do everything right. Everybody got a weakness. Ain't nobody that perfect. Yes, now I do believe, please don't mistake it, I do believe you need to come with your A game. I do believe you need to have some stuff in order. You should be organized. I do believe presentation matters. Excuse me. Excuse me. I do believe you should always do your best in spite of how things go, because it is just, yeah, yeah. Especially if you're going to be on a very large platform. I do believe that. But guys, like, don't disqualify yourself. Don't dummy down yourself either. And don't let other people, or stop letting other people do that to you. I've had some people criticize me to the T. To the T. Just criticize me to the T. And I would just think to myself, like, wow, really? They not even doing what I'm doing. They not even doing what I'm doing, but have so much to say. So much to say. I hear somebody criticize me about the way I pray, everything. And I looked at them like, okay, you don't understand. I'm a prophet. Excuse me. Why do I pray the way I pray? Why do I pray throughout the day? Why do I meditate? Why do I read the Bible? Why do I do this stuff every day? Why do I have a certain pattern routine? I am a prophet. Why do I get up in the middle of the night and pray? I'm a prophet. And prophets are not the only ones, but I'm just making a point. They get by on worship, and they was trying to have me do what they do. And yes, worship is a good way to do things, but it's like, no, don't talk me out of what I do and the way I do it. And you're not me, number one. You're not a prophet the way I'm a prophet, number two. You don't deal with the same attacks I deal with. Or what may be required from me may not be required from you from the Lord. I had to learn to stop allowing people to try to manipulate you because they think they so right, or they going by what works for them, what works in this and that. And yeah, but they forget that that's for you. Okay, that's for you. God may have you doing that. There was a time, especially when I had, changes in my spiritual life and everything. There was a time when the Lord had me getting up every morning praying at 4 a.m. Pray, read, spend time with the Bible, and I had a notepad, and I would write down what the Lord would say to me, and everything, scriptures, worship, and the Lord would speak to me clear as day. 4 a.m. I did this for a couple of months. Okay, He may not be telling everybody else to do that, but He was telling me to do that. That's what I needed, you know. So you'll have somebody where they don't take all that, and you getting up 4 a.m. in prayer, and so this and that, and they, this nigga ain't you. They ain't you, and they be so quick to tell you what to do. Well, tell y'all what helped me just remove all that is trusting in myself and what I have and what the Lord has given me to do. Like for real. Everybody has a weakness, shortcomings, we all do. But even with that, you still need to, because like scripture says, in our weakness, his strength is made perfect. In our weakness. Some things also that we may call a weakness or you may think it's a weakness is not a weakness at all. It's just the way that you were made. It's just the way you was wired. It's just the way that God designed you. Doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. That's how you were made. And some people may not understand who you are and why you're the way you are. They don't understand that you were tailor made. You were personally tailor made. You was made the way you was made for a reason. The way you look, your personality, even the way you walk. You was made the way you was made for a reason. You know? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, you guys. But do you trust yourself? In the previous episodes, I covered trusting the Lord. I covered can the Lord trust you? I'm covering ourselves. I'm just led to do things a little differently. Do you trust yourself? Can I be transparent with you guys just a little bit? I'm gonna be a little bit personal with you guys tonight. So, I have learned to trust myself. I'm gonna say one area. I'm gonna say one area. I've learned to trust myself when it comes to marriage. When it comes to marriage, because I used to have a fear, just talking open, I used to have a fear that, I may not be good enough, or I didn't know how it's going to be. I was going to be taken advantage of. I wouldn't be appreciated, because I'm considered that good woman. And I've heard so many stories about how women get married to certain men and it's like their life go downhill. They not treated right. They cheated on. Their spouse done gave them a disease, a STD. Their spouse beating them. And this can happen to anybody, but my type is so easy to happen too. And I remember telling my mother that I've always had this fear. Like, I don't know if it'd be easy for me to stay single. I know the word says it's not good for me to be alone, but I've always just been nervous. Would my life actually be better being married versus being single? But I would have to say, actually, actually, this whole year, and even before then, I've been working on that. This whole year, I've been working on that, like working on myself to prepare myself for marriage. You know, working on some things, changing some things, and actually trusting myself, trusting that I am enough. I look good enough. I walk good enough. I cook good enough. Everything is good enough. Everything is good enough. Even in the bedroom, like, you're good enough. Don't worry about what you don't know, or, don't worry about that, because a lot of that stuff comes naturally. When it comes to dating and relationships, yes, some stuff you may have to, do here, do there, this and that. But a lot of that stuff comes naturally. A lot of it is naturally. You don't have to really do a whole lot. It's not rocket science. But I had to learn to trust myself that I am enough. I am enough. And I believe it was just the fear I had. And it was also the different marriages I've been around, I've heard. And yes, you do got to be careful who you take wisdom from. Yes, you cannot allow other stuff to scare you. But, it's just, it did for a minute. It did for a minute. It did. So I have to say that now that fear is gone. I have really worked on that, and I realized I have nothing to worry about. I have nothing to worry about, nothing to fear at all. Nothing to fear. Okay, so I had to stop for a minute and take care of something right quick. But yeah, I had a fear. I had a fear. I had a fear of getting married, and I eventually just, I eventually start dealing with it. And that really helped. That really helped. Cause sometimes a lot of stuff is just in your mind, you know. It's just anxiety, and it's not real. It's just what you think something is. It's like fear of the unknown. Fear of the unknown. But the more I began to just work on myself, the more, I talked to a therapist about it, like the more I dealt with it, the more I began to see, okay, I see where this is coming from. I see even where the fear is coming from. So I just wanted to be open and transparent about that. Like I was struggling. That's the area I was struggling in. Never been married to. I've had a lot of men come to me. A few men come to me and say, the Lord told me you are my wife and I want to have your babies. That they want to be connected to me and all that jazz. And I mean, literally coming for me, telling me that. And I'm like, look, the Lord may have told you that, but the Lord did tell me, the Lord did tell me that. But that fear is gone, you guys. Like I'm actually excited. Like I was like, okay, getting married, being somebody's wife, you having that big old rock on your finger, that diamond rock looking good and stuff on your finger. It's nice, bling bling, you know, big old bling bling on your finger and everything, and just a big white dress, and have the wedding on the beach like I wanted, and having the after party. And I was just like, I can't wait, you know, to have it and stuff. And it just be fun. It'd be fun however, I have my wedding, however it happens. But like, I'm excited. I can't wait, you know, to go from being single to, belonging to somebody, and, spending time with somebody and everything. It'll be a big change for me. It'd be a big change for me. You go from being, by yourself to, somebody there and everything, dealing with them, and then you have a family and all that. Like, I started, thinking positive, thinking positive. I'm in a bed with my husband. He farting, farting, everything turned over. Or I'm farting too. You know what I'm saying? Farting and snoring, and kids coming in, and you know, the next morning jumping in the bed, waking you up. I just started thinking, starting that family, just thinking positive. Like I already been told, and I believe it. I truly believe it. And not because somebody told me, but I truly believe it that when I get married, I'm gonna be married for a long time. Like a long time. He not gonna let me go. He not gonna go. He not gonna let me go. He not gonna let me go. I believe it. He not gonna let me go. We gonna be married for a long time. I don't know how many kids I'm gonna have. And look, I hope this don't sound crazy, but when I was younger, I used to say I want 4 sons. Maybe because there's a lot of men in my family, and I'm so used to being around men. I don't know, but and I used to have guy friends. I used to have the best of both worlds. I have guy friends and female friends. But anyway, I say I want 4 sons, and I hear somebody say, "Are you sure? You were just might get them too. Are you sure that's what you want? You sure you somebody you want 4 sons?" But now it doesn't matter. 4 sons. Then I wanted twins. Twins run on both ends of my family as well. I don't know. I just it doesn't matter, girl, boy, whatever God bless me with. But make a long story short, because I go on and on and on. I trust myself when it comes to marriage. I do believe marriage is coming. I'm not even worried about who I'm married to. I just know that once we get married, he ain't gonna want to let me go. It's gonna be all good. Like I trust myself. I trust. Period. I have trust. I have faith. I think that's the other word. Have faith. Have faith that everything gonna work out fine. You know, everything gonna work out fine. Everything gonna be all right. And stop worrying so much about the unknown. Stop worrying so much about what you can't do nothing about no way. Stop worrying so much. Just have faith and trust God, trust in yourself, and that's it. Like you have everything you need to do what's next, to go to the next. You know, you have everything you need. Everything you need. So that's all we really need to do. So that's all I'm led to really just talk about on tonight. Like I said, this is just gonna be a little bit different, more personal, more of a conversation. And just know, you guys, it's time to trust yourself. Trust yourself. Have faith and believe in you. You know that size of a mustard seed faith? Have that, but also have the trust as well. Have the trust. Yes, we trust in God. Yes, we trust, and we know that greater is He than is in us than He that's in the world. We know all these scriptures. We know, but I really feel that it's like we need to look at ourselves more too and know that we just naturally all by ourselves are good, bad bam pajamas. You good. And you may not always feel that way. You may not always feel like you a bad man pajama. You may not always feel like a bag of chips every single day, all day. But for the most part, I think it's okay to know that you got it going on. And you realize you got it going on. So that's all I have for tonight. You guys be blessed. This is Prophetess Lefaye Jefferson. Just finished my Talk with Lefaye podcast, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Good night.